Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's clips. For the first time in ages, I've been away hibernating and stuff, so first clip for a long time. I'm doing this one a wee bit different. I'm doing it through Sky Plus, Google Plus. I was using it last night on fractionalfrequency.co.uk and seemed to work better than it has been in the past. So, alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's clips for the first time in ages. There we go. That was me just watching myself. So I had done it last night when I was doing my first show on Daisy's network, fractional frequency.co.uk, so go and check that out. I'll need to leave a link somewhere, I've not at the moment, but fractional frequency.co.uk, one of the top results you'll get. So so I've done this last night for the show. Days was there, Peter was there, Dean was there as well, and seemed to work alright, better than normal, and it had the facility to do the screen share. So last night I was talking a wee bit about the history of. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go along, well there's no viewers yet, but if I do get any viewers and stuff, I'm going to batter into the chat room and try and interact with the chat as I'm showing this. I don't know how long this is going to take. It could be 5 minutes, it could be, well it won't be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be half an hour. It just depends how many roads I go down. I'm just going to try and let the mind wander on all the, because I know when you get the ball rolling, a lot of things, it's kind of like after normally doing a 1 hour, 2 hour show or slot or whatever, you'd always remember that you forgot to say this. So with this format, it might allow me to expand, go off in many tangents as I want, and just sit and chat. And I don't know whether this will work or it won't. There's Peter in the chat room. How you doing, Peter? So I don't know if this will work or it won't. I can only try. If it works, I'll be doing more of them. But anyway, so last night on the show, I was talking about the history of the City of London, when the corporation started in the City of London, when it broke away from being part of England at the time, now the UK, whatnot, and how it's still a law until itself, and how it's been and still continues to be the financial centre, control centre of the world. I mean, it's openly admitted it's the financial hub of the world. I see it as part of the 3 key hubs: the Vatican, London and DC. I know that's a kind of a conspiracy thing, but when you look at the cold hard facts, look at the Pope going to Jerusalem, trying to appease everybody. What makes that guy so religious? Who died and made him God? Well, that's right, Jesus. Jesus died and made him God. Because that's what the Pope is. That's what he tries to sell himself off as. It's the closest living guy that's in touch with God on this planet. I don't like that. It's bullcrap. So I see the City of London as part of the 3 control hubs: the Vatican, London, and DC being the military arm, and the dumb guy with a baseball bat that you send round to sort the people out. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on the City of London, and hopefully, well, I'm going to take it from the earliest historical references of it. I think it's well accepted that before the Romans turned it into a settlement, a city, whatever you want to call it, before the Romans rocked up and planted their flag there, there was people staying there. There was pre-Roman activity at the River Thames, especially at the section of the river where the Roman city started, and then the City of London naturally grew into. I don't fully understand this, but through reading and stuff, the reason that section of the river has been used over the times is because it's the natural tide. So it makes it, it was the natural place to put a bridge, because when the tide goes out, I think more land was exposed, and it was an easier place to build a bridge across a river. I think it's the same in lots of rivers in the UK and stuff. There's a natural tide break. But anyway, so the City of London was, I've got a screen share here, so what I want to experiment, and this is just an experiment to see if it works. Right, so if I do a screen share, right, firstly I need to open up what I want to screen share. Now, let me do, right, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm just getting to grips with this crap, but in theory it should be working. Right, there we go. So what I want to show is Roman maps of London. You'll go and get lots of them. That's from 190. As you can see, the Roman Bridge and London Bridge are pretty much in the same position. The Tower of London is right on the wall of the Roman wall of the Tower of Londonium, or whatever it was called. There's one particular one to show now. This is the City of London. There's the Tower of London. I'll get a better one, but I just want to show you down here on the southwest section of the Roman City of London. It's accepted historical fact, if you want to call it that, right? But it's a lot of historians would say that this was the temple area, and outside the wall was the cemetery and the River Fleet. Now, I'm sure that's a nice picture, but it's not what I'm looking for. There's the River Fleet. Doesn't show you any of the Roman structures. There definitely is one. There, it was called Londonium. That's what the Romans called it. Now here's a good one, because it shows you. That's what's that, Blackfriars Bridge, right? That's the city. That's the Roman City of London. Now let's look at a map of the City of London. Right, here's a good one here. Now, as you can see, the Roman City of London is almost identical. There's the Tower of London. There's the Tower of London. And I'm trying to find one that will show you. There's the River Fleet. Right, that gave name to Fleet Street. The river's still there, but it's underground London now. And let me find a London map where I can show you. Well, probably the easiest way for me to do it is by going on to Google Earth. And all I need to do is share the Google Earth screen with you. So if we go to modern day London, there's the City of London there. Now, the boundary of the City of London is just right up there at the Strand, right after the Temple. And there is London Bridge there. And the city, which does not resemble any way in the shape or form, the shape of a square, but inhabits an area very close to a square mile. It's commonly referred to as the square mile. Right. So I don't know if this is working or not, but feck it, continue on. Why not? Right. So City of London history. Right. Right, well, there's actually some people on now. I'm going to the history of the City of London. The point I'm trying to get across, whether I don't know whether I'm getting it, is the Roman City of London is geographically speaking exactly the same as the City of London. They use the same walls. It's almost identical in position of where it is to this day. The bank has changed. Obviously, the City of London has built it out and whatnot. But they still use the exact same boundaries. So let's... Jesus, Johnny. Right, I'm just having a look in the chat room. So there's Monkey, Mighty Bush, Canine Griffiths. Right, so this is hitting the fan in Ukraine, major psyop time. Yeah, I've seen it. Aye. This is the beauty about doing this live. I did see the stuff that's happening in Ukraine. They shot down a Russian helicopter. It's going to turn into, I believe Ukraine's going to turn into just another Syria. Russia isn't going to admit to helping the people on the ground. America/NATO isn't going to admit to helping people on the ground. But ultimately, there's going to be the mainstream media isn't going to call it what it is, a civil war, and ultimately you're going to have East Ukraine fighting, very small guerrilla force fighting the Ukrainian army, but it's horrible. I mean, let me just see if I can pick up some headlines about Ukraine. There's Mighty Bush. Keep it going, mate. We need to end this fucking treacherous mob. Magna Carta. Mate, I go into that in the City of London as well, man. So if you're into that stuff, stay tuned, man. Magna Carta in the City of London. It comes from the exact same doorstep as the Knights Templar. It comes from inside the Knights Templars headquarters. No shit, mate. I'll show you. Need a couple of rules. Peace. Cheers, Mighty Bush. Hope you're recording this. Yeah, mate. What will happen is after the live broadcast goes out, it will then go up on the channel as a full video. Because I'm going to start from the very beginning of the City of London and work my way through. I'm also going to obviously try and batter into the chat room as much as I possibly can. Try and make this a bit more interactive. It's live, so I don't want to feel in any rush. It's meant to just sit there and people can take their time with it. Remember the underground London? Nobody sees. Mighty Bush, I've briefly heard about that. I've never looked into it. I wonder if you can tell me, is it by any surprise under the City of London? Is it in Greater London? Is it everywhere? I don't know much about it. And James Johnson saying aye. Right, so cheers for butting into the chat room, everybody. Now, what I'm going to do, if I can try and... I'll get this a wee bit smoother at some point, I'm sure. Right, let me go back to the internets. I'm looking for the internets. Right, that's what I want to do. Oh no, hold on, that's where I want to go. History of the City of London. Now, go and check out what came first, the Knights Templar or the English flag. People who may be sitting in England right now and this flag means what you want, but ultimately the Knights Templars gang sign came well before the flag that was commonly known as the English flag now. Anyways, right, so let's go into a wee bit of the history. Well, let me just, so the city of London, the Romans rocked up in about, was it 40 AD? Let me see if I've got that right. Aye. Well, no, it doesn't tell you there, but I do know it was around 40 or 50 AD. So 40 or 50 years after BC, the birth of Christ, before the birth of Christ, on the Roman calendar. Surprise, surprise. The Romans stayed there for, like, just call it just under 400 years, and then as the Roman Empire was declining, they left. Obviously, at the furthest outreaches of the Roman Empire, that's when it first started contracting. So they left Britain in around 410 AD after Christ, after the Roman calendar. Let's see. This will outline it surely. Next, you had the Anglo-Saxons. Apparently for 200 years. So for about 410 to 604. It lay abandoned. They just abandoned it. Let's see what it says. Because then we've got the Anglo-Saxons rocking up. The Anglo-Saxons rocked up in 604, and they held it until William the Bastard took it in 1066. But let's just go through this Wikipedia and see what it's saying, right? So, this is talking about the Roman decline. By the year of the construction of the London Wall, which still exists, and the city of London lies within the Roman London Wall. The city's fortunes were in decline. With problems of plague and fire, the Roman Empire entered a long period of instability and decline, including the revolt, the Caucasian revolt in Britain. In the 3rd and 4th centuries, the city was under attack from the Picts, Scots and Saxon raiders. The decline continued both for Londonium and the Empire, and in 410 AD, the Romans withdrew entirely from Britain. Many of the Roman public buildings in Londonium by this time had fallen into decay and disuse, and gradually, after the formal withdrawal from the city became almost, if not entirely, uninhabited. Now, that's what you'll find, the common theme, that it was uninhabited. What makes me think otherwise is, if you look at the Roman maps of London, you'll see that where when it took over again, if you go and look at all the ancient maps, as apparently the Anglo-Saxons rocked up in 604, the same places were used for the same use. So I believe the Romans pulled out, but my theory, my conjecture, and me critically thinking for something for myself, not trying to throw a new idea out there into the mix, is I believe it still remained inhabited. It would have been very easy to defend because it was right after the completion of the wall. The Romans had to pull out. So, yeah, I believe the empire contracted, but I don't believe the city of London sat there. Maybe I'm wrong. I just believe that it would have stayed occupied in some way, in some sense, especially when the temple area continues to this day to be where the temple church, the temple bar, temple station is. So that's my conjecture. Now, let me see. I need to figure out whether that clicked over onto the other one. Let me see. I just believe that it would have stayed occupied in some way, in some sense, especially when the temple area continues to this day to be where the temple church, temple bar, Right, you know, so that was me listening back to myself to try and figure out where I am, just to confuse you all. Okie dokie. So let me go back onto my Google Plus and figure out what bit I'm actually broadcasting this bit. So then the Anglo-Saxons rocked up, and it came under the kingdoms of Essex. That's when Britain started. That's when Britain was like a bunch of tribes and whatnot. And this was when the sort of a tribes of Britain, after the Romans pull out, after 200 years, they formed sort of a different regions within Britain. That's when they started forming a union, which then became the King of England. And this was the formation of the first ever King of England after the Romans pulled out. So let me see. Let's see if this is important. What notes have I got here? Well, I've got the Anglo-Saxons rocking up, staying there for 400 years until William the Bastard. So I didn't take any notes about what the Anglo-Saxons done. So let me have a wee look. So the London area came in turn under the kingdoms. As I said, that was a few areas in and around London. Through the mid-8th century, it was frequented under the control or threat of the Vikings. It was actually, it could have, I mean, it looks like it was under control and it burnt down maybe a few times with the Vikings, but the London Wall still exists. So an area like that, you don't sack and burn to the ground. You would go in and use it as a defensive, use it as what it is, a fortification. AD 604, as the first bishop to the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of the East Saxons and their king. So this is all about the dedicated to the St. Paul. Let's see the new bishop. Sorry, this is, there we go. After the great king of Wessex, and arguably the first king of the English, occupied and began the resettlement of the old Roman walled area in 886. So aye, that's during the Anglo-Saxon period. Can't believe I didn't make notes about what the Anglo-Saxons done. Obviously it slipped my mind at the time, but aye, so the Anglo-Saxons formed what can be considered first king of England, and then they reoccupied London. Well, they resettled it, which would, I would assume, start rebuilding the stuffs inside the fortifications and stuff. Resettlement of the old Roman walled area, and appointed the son-in-law over it as part of the reconquest of the Viking-occupied parts of England. The refortified Anglo-Saxon settlement was known as London Fort, a borough. The historian said Alfred the King restored the city of London splendidly and made it a capital once more. Alfred's restoration entailed reoccupying and refurbishing the newly deserted Roman walled city and building quays along the Thames and laying a new city street plan. So the Anglo-Saxons came in, gave it a makeover, do a 60-minute makeover on it. In the 10th century, so after Alfred's taking London, so the Anglo-Saxons reoccupied it and regenerated the whole city of London, refortified it and stuff, right up until 1066, and that was the Battle of Hastings. So this was the beginning of the medieval history. So I did take notes of this, so I can actually paraphrase what this is saying. So the Battle of Hastings was when William the Conqueror, also known as William the Bastard, William the Bastard was the first Norman king. Aye, I knew, I've seen Normandy and stuff. He was Norman king of England. The Normans were from France. So he came from France, came the first French king of England. But he failed to get across London Bridge. He couldn't defeat the Londoners. He eventually crossed the River Thames. William granted the citizens of London a charter in 1075. The city was one of the few examples of the English retaining some authority. The city was not covered by the Domesday Book. Domesday Book, I'm paraphrasing, but it was a census. It was a census of the whole of the UK. No, let me see. Let me see what Wiki tells you about it. It was like a census, a great survey completed in 1066 in orders by William the Bastard, as much of England part of Wales. While spending Christmas time 1085 in Gloucester, William had deep. Yeah, it was him after him taking over England, going, right, what do I own? Go out and tell me everything that's mine. It's like a big census. That's why it was called the Domesday Book. So you had the Normans taking over. They couldn't get into England. They couldn't get into England. They couldn't breach the fortifications of London. Let me see what it says here. Rather than continuing the war, surrendered at Berkhamsted, William granted the citizens of London a charter in 1075, and he spared it the Domesday Book. William built 3 castles nearby to keep the Londoners subdued. So this is what I was saying last night on Fractional Frequency. I was saying that London hasn't technically never been sacked, and sacked in the sense that an invading forces came and taken over that city, apart from Boudica. Boudica, was very early on when the Romans settled Londonium at the time. Boudica, the Welsh princess or queen, I can't quite remember now, she was a Celt, came in and sacked it and burnt it to the ground, and then the Romans rebuilt it stronger, bigger and better, and that's when they started the Wall of London, and that's when it's never been sacked again. Even when William the Bastard came over and took over the whole of England, and he took over, technically London was within his kingdom, but he couldn't breach the city walls, he couldn't run them down. So he granted, rather than continue the war, he granted them a charter, a royal charter, and they were spared the Domesday Book. Then he made the Tower of London, and Baynard's Castle, and Monchief's Tower. I've checked them all out, but the Tower of London, you still know where that is. That's still very much prominent. That was the first Norman king of England that built that to try and suppress London. So next time you're at London, you're going as a tourist attraction and think it was there to protect London. That was there to attack London. So let me see, what other notes did I get here? Henry I granting the sheriff, right? So this is brilliant. This goes into the Great Fire of London and stuff. So what time frame are we at here? William the Bastard rocked up in 1066. Right, you see the 66? Let me see. Did it tell you when William the Bastard? Battle of Hastings. Yep, 1066, right? 1066. 66. I don't know the number. When you start looking through history and stuff, man, that's why. I mean, I don't know. It's beyond belief. Because this is going to go directly onto the fire of 1666, all the 60s again. Because this is where this is where the next port of call is going. So you had William the Bastard, the Norman king of England, William the Bastard, William the Conqueror, rocking up. He couldn't conquer London, so he granted them a charter. This was the beginning of the separation of the city of London from the kingdom. Right, this was the initial beginning of the break. The beginning of this was the start of the corporation, the corporation of London, the separate entity. This was the start of corporate fascism. This was the start of the corporation that would give us corporate fascism. And this is what I mean by the history of the city of London. Nobody goes into this stuff, man. Like everybody goes up, red flag, green flag, blue flag, false flag, Illuminati, Jesuits, nice Templar. They all throw it out there, and nobody gives you a structure, a timeline, and actually give you the birthplace of where they see the problem is. And actually, when they say we stay in a corporate fascist world, it's not just lip service. It isn't something I've seen Alex Jones said. and then they're just parroting it. It's actually something that they've felt and thought themselves by unfortunately looking around them and seeing what's going on and thinking for themselves, man. I mean, honestly, it annoys me so much, the people out there that just fucking parrot fucking buzzwords. Red flag, blue flag, green flag, helps you with your breakdowns. False flag, Illuminati, Jesuits, Knights Templars, Saturn devil cult, Saturn devil worship, the devilos, the Satanists, the satanic ones, and they don't even really know what they're talking about. So it's important to try and give people fucking the starting point of this stuff right up to when it's happening right now, and explain it and break it down and let, I don't know, so people know what these different faction sections all are, and maybe next time you hear your mate going Illuminati, you can actually explain to him, because I will go into that as well. Hey, you're talking pish, shut up, pal. But anyway, so we were at Henry the First, right? That was the William the Bastard's son. So where was that's the Anglo-Saxons. That was a Battle of Hastings. That's when William the Bastard came over in 1066. That's what was going on, the numerology. But anyway, Battle of Hastings, 1066. All the sixes again. William the Bastard couldn't take over London. Built the three towers. About 1130. So William the Bastard dropped up in 1066. Well, the Battle of Hastings was 1066. By 1130, Henry the First. Henry the First is his first son, second son. Was the King of England. He was the fourth son, sorry, of William the Conqueror. No, I think my mistake was I didn't know whether he was his direct son, or I think I might even thought he was his grandson. But anyway, I stand corrected. He was his fourth son. Henry the First was William the Bastard's fourth son. He granted a sheriff. Now this is the start. This is the cementation. No shit, I can't think of that word. This is cementing the split between the city of London and England as a kingdom, as an entity that a king rules. And look at the dates here. Kings were very much still the people, the ones that you... Oh, Jesus. My tea's getting cold. In fact, it's fucking freezing. But this is the start of it. This is the breaking. This is the start of the corporation. Right? And now what happens to London after they start the corporation? Now... I just want to get the time frame in here. So, 1066, because it's important. Write these dates down, man, and just keep a flowchart of the dates, important dates, and do a conspiracy date line, and then it'll make everything a lot simpler in your head. If you've just got a flowchart of dates, you'll be able to see as it happens, the domino effect, and see where it's all coming from. So, William the Bastard, I like calling him that, because he turned out to be quite a bastard, because this is the guy that's, well, I don't know. Anyway, it started the ball rolling, given this entity. Because I've said before, to know what's happening just now, you need to know what's happened in the past. When I've said that before, I've been using the American Revolution and the French Revolution as points of reference, and everybody should go and do that. You need to check out the French Revolution and the American Revolution to see what's fucking happening here. And you know Russell Brand popping up and going flibbly flubbly, let's all share our wealth is bullcrap, man. People need to start thinking for themselves. Stop. You're getting led. It's Pied Piper shit. I mean, see all these fables and wives' tales and all the things. It's all true. It's all analogies and stuff, and people are getting led along with the Pied Piper. And there's many of them out there, whether it be Nigel Farage, David Cameron, Salmond. Fuck, what's his name? Alex Salmond. Nick Clegg. Any of these morons. Put your X on the paper. and say that I've got the right to tell you what to do. And that's what they're doing with this bullcrap of you going and voting for people. I mean, with this Scottish independence that's coming up, I had to have a real hard think about whether I was voting or not. I've never voted in my life. I've never been on the voting roll. And do you know what made my mind up for me? I cannot in all consciousness go and put my name on a bit of paper and then later on go, well, I can't complain because I voted for the dude. I signed on dotted line. I signed the deal with the devil. You sign over your responsibility, just like you sign over your ownership when you get your children registered at birth. This ties into the Case de Vie Act of 1666. It ties into the City of London, the corporation. It's all there. Everything ties in. So you can go, somebody might be a legalese guy, somebody might be a Knights Templar dude, and somebody might be Illuminati. Well, let's put them all together and show people where they're all fucking coming from, because it's all the same shit. It's all corporate fascism getting rolled out to you, enslave us all. Whether you want to go and have sexual magic and bother that and whatever deity, entity, whatever, but they've all got different gods. You pray to or want to do whatever to it at the time. It's all the same thing. It's all cunts being cunts. Can't still rule the world. Anyway, right. So whip bit was that. Right, I'm getting on to Henry the First. I know I've been rambling a wee bit there, but I wanted to get a few things out. So I'm going to start at Henry the First when I come back. I'm not going to go anywhere. Shit, I need to keep that up. But what I'm going to do is, right, well, I can put my ugly mug back on anyway. So that's probably better than... and I'm going to read out some of the comments. Let me get back into the... Right, so Peter, I don't know if you're still listening, man. In fact, I need to see if anybody's actually watching. 10 viewers, so there is people in it. Right, so we've got Peter, Monkey, I've spoke to them, Mighty Bush, K9 Griffin, yep man, spoke to you, Mighty Bush, remember the Mighty Bush, the London Underground, I have an error. The comment section on these live Google Pluses are crap. The Strand in Galveston, Texas, is the main street on the wharf. The Strat, I'm going to take notes and I'll go and show you this stuff. The Strand in London follows the old Bank of the Thames, and it's where the city meets Westminster. So it's very symbolic in the sense it's where the city, the financial hub, meets the political hub, Westminster. Works here, refresh, thank you. Under the city, built for storing, I believe, that armour, gold, kings out shagging, etc. Oh right, Mighty Bush talking about the tunnels under London. Aye, well I wouldn't put it past them, mate. I guarantee there's a lot of things underneath London that we don't know about. I would be very interested to know whether it was more in the city of London or the Greater London. I would imagine it's everywhere. Here's a thing for you, man. In fact, I'm going to do this myself when I come back. Right, so the Strand, and I want to go and look at Buckingham Palace and Knights Hospitallers. Don't know if you've known that that Buckingham Palace was originally the Knights Hospitallers base, but anyway, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just move along. Peter Jansen. Oh no. What did the Romans ever give us? Fucking shit. They gave us technology. Well, I don't know. They stole and produced technology and stuff, mate. But they left us with the Pope, religious bullcrap. They left us with the fraud of Christianity. When the people in power in Rome weren't following Christianity, but to appease the Christian fucking rising, they had to fucking disguise it for many years, and they've done a really good job. So what did the Romans ever give us? They gave me a fucking headache. They've left us with courts, corruption. History always favours the winners. Well, that's very true, mate. That's very true. Except roads and almost all laws. Apart from that, nothing. It's like Egypt, as in there were 3 Giza pyramids there before any king, but claim as their own. Same thing, right? Has anyone seen the Pharaoh show? Loads of info on Knights Templar. Aye, mate, that's brilliant. That guy. I think you're talking about. I think. Oh Jesus. He's not. Is he German or Austrian or something? I don't know. He's in for that neck of the wood. Whatever it is, he hates Swiss people, and he goes to Switzerland and gets under the nose of the Knights Templars of Switzerland. The Knights Templars are lots of places. They are in Switzerland as well. Look at the flag of look at the English flag. Look at the Swiss flag. I mean, the people do actually rub it in your face. I need to admit, I've watched the Pharaoh show and stuff. I've never myself in depth researched the Knights Templar in Switzerland. The only thing that really pops to my head is, which blatantly stares you in the face, is the Swiss banking. Is that enough said? I mean, the Knights Templar like their money. So where was that? Has anyone seen the Pharaoh show? Life. Pretty good book, The History of Corporations. 6 Kip. When did England win the World Cup? 66, mate. Good one. Still here. Cheers, Peter. Diesel, more info, please. All right, that's about the Pharaoh show, dude. Or if you, Mighty Bush, if you want more info about the Pharaoh show, type Pharaoh show into YouTube, and you shall get. Pretty sure you'll get a lot of this guy's work. He goes and looks at the architecture and places in and around Switzerland. Does a lot more stuff than that as well, but you'll find a few channels in that there, so go and check them out, man. Right, that's the last messages as I can see them. So what was I going to do? Buckingham Palace in the Strand. Firstly, I need to find the page I want to go back to. Right, I was in there. I was at the medieval. Is it Henry the First? Is it Henry the First? That's my phone going off. Right, let me see. So Henry the First. Let me start there. I'm going to go into the Strand and Buckingham Palace. I'll definitely remember that because I'll do the Buckingham Palace bit when I'm showing the Knights Templar merging into the Knights Hospitallers. So Henry the First. Who was Henry the First? The 4th son of William the Conqueror, William the Bastard. He was a Norman king. Battle of Hastings got him the Kingdom of England in 1066. Couldn't penetrate the fortifications of the city of London, so he built 3 castles around the city of London to suppress the Londoners. His 4th son, Henry the First, take it from there. Well, Henry the First granted a sheriff in 1130. Now, Henry the First granted a sheriff to the people of London in 1130. Along with the control of the county of Middlesex, this meant that the 2 entities were regarded as one administratively, not that that county was dependent, was a dependence of the city until the Local Government Act 1888. All the 8s. I mean, if you see the, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But anyway, fuck, I can't answer that. Hello. Who's calling? Hi, how you doing? Jesus, Johnny, man. Try to get people off the phone. Anyway, you make me lose my train of thought. So I was going to the... Oh, I forgot to bloody... That's good. That was good, actually, because it reminded me I wasn't bloody screen sharing, which I'm wanting to be doing. Right, so Henry the First, he granted the people of London a sheriff after his dad couldn't take over the city. His dad offered him a charter. Then Henry the First offered them a sheriff in 1130. Now, what I'm going to show you now is what I believe, how I believe this was the Knights Templars acquisition, buying of the city. Oh Jesus, is that working? I don't know. Oh, there it's there. Right, it is working. Panic over. I will get the hang of this one day. There are smooth bits in this when I get going. But anyway, right, so about 1130, Henry the First granted a sheriff to the people of London along with the control of Middlesex. That meant they were they weren't part of no longer part of the kingdom. They were administrated separately to the rest of England, right, up until the Local Government Act of 1888. By 1141, the whole body of the citizenship was considered to constitute a single community. This commune was the origin of the City of London Corporation, and the citizens gained the right to appoint, with the King's consent, a mayor in 1189, and to directly elect the mayor by 1215. Now, my friends, what I'm going to try and show you is how I believe this was the Knights Templar doing this. Right. So there you can clearly see, right, from the Romans apparently withdrawn in 410. Then the Anglo-Saxons, they didn't have to batter anybody to get in there. They just walked up and done the paintwork, threw up a few new bits of wallpaper and stuff in 604. Everything was hunky-dory. The Anglo-Saxons held that place. Apparently it was the Anglo-Saxons held that place right up until William the Bastard, who still couldn't take over the place, so he built all 3 castles. So the City of London still, I argue, get the same people staying inside it, the same power structure inside it, right up until Henry the First. Right, and I'm going to explain to you how this was the Knights Templars takeover. Started, and the Knights Templars being at the creation of the City of London, being their city, being the Knights Templar, their first ever takeover. Started the first ever corporation in 1141. Now, let's just rewind in history for a wee second and look at the Crusades, right? The Crusades started in 1099. First Crusade finished in 1099. 1099. Again, all the dates that you want to be seeing. 1099. The Crusades, Jesus, where's the... where's a good... must be... Oh, Jesus. The First Crusades with the stated goal of restoring Christian... so it was in 1095, the Pope proclaimed the First Crusade. And the First Crusade, they actually took over Jerusalem in 1099. Hold on. Easiest way to do that. First Crusade, there we go. First Crusade, 1099. Now, the reason it's called the First Crusade is because they actually they took over Jerusalem. So in 1099, the Knights Templars didn't exist, the Knights Hospitallers didn't exist. They did in everything but name. The knights that would go on to be them existed. The people who moved the money, the knights, the respected knights, the factions, the societies, probably the cliques already existed that would then go on to be the Knights Templars. The Knights Templars, now bear this in mind, we've got William the Bastard rocking up in 1066. I'm granting a royal charter to the City of London. Henry I granting them a sheriff in 1130. 30 years during the Crusades were still ongoing. The Crusades didn't finish. The Holy Land was lost in 1291. That was officially the end of the Crusades. It started in 1099. No, sorry, it started in 1095. End of the First Crusade was 1099. The Holy Land was lost in 1291. So 30 years after the end of the First Crusades, the Knights Templars, let me get the date here. Knights Templars were set up in 1120. Okay. 1120 they were set up. 1119, 1120. That's when the order was first set up. They first came to England in 1128 to recruit for the Crusades. So the most powerful money movers, the richest knight order, and the most powerful order of the Crusades came to England in 1128 to recruit for the Crusades, and Henry I granted a sheriff to the City of London in 1130. Let's go and look at the City of London, and I'll show you the seat of power. Bear that in mind, okay? Here we have the City of London. Here's the map I wish I found earlier on. But anyway, got it now, so can we get into that map? Yes, we can. Okay. Let me find out where the hell I am. Don't know how good this. Oh, there we go. Right. Now, the Knights Templar. Well, that's a bloody drinking restaurant, right? But here's the inner temple. There's the Temple Church. That is the home of the Knights Templar in London. The headquarters, not the beginning of the Knights Templar in England. I could show you that as well. But this was the home of the Knights Templar in the City of London. This land was given. They came to England in 1128, Henry I, the king, offered the city of London a sheriff, basically separating them, making them a sovereign state, making them their own country. 2 years later, 2 years after the Knights Templar rocked up, and then in 1154, the king actually offered the Knights Templars land. The land the king offered the Knights Templar was to the left-hand side of the River Fleet. Nowadays you get Fleet Street. I think I'm trying to find at some point around there. Fleet Street goes over. I think it's there. In fact, somewhere around here, you get the River Fleet underground. I might actually follow Boulevard Street because the temple was built to the left-hand side of the old Roman wall. It was built at the exact same area, exact same location of the city of London as the Roman temples. The temple gardens are actually on top of the Roman cemetery. You have Middle Temple Hall. This goes along with the map. This is the birthplace of law that enslaved us, Roman corporate law, all thanks to the Knights Templar. So we have the temple church now. This enables me to go to satellite. You see the round church. If I type in Knights Templar, and my spelling mucked up there, but I don't care. Right, here's the seal of the Knights Templar. We're all familiar with the two guys on a white horse because you know the best people in battle are gay guys, you know what I mean? It's been speculated that the two men riding beside each other on a horse has references to the homosexuality, because it was gay soldiers were perceived to be better warriors and stuff. But on the flip side, you'll get Solomon's Temple, because that was their job. That's where the order came from. The order came from the Pope to create the Knights Templar, and they are the order of the Temple of Solomon. I mean, you can go and hold on, I'll tell you. Poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. I just say the Knights Templar, the order of the Temple. As you can see there, it's a round temple that was on top. That Solomon's Temple was round. Come to the Temple Church, the Knights Templars headquarters, their treasury in London. That was there from the, well, let's see. Let's first go into the Catholic Church. Must have the Temple Church here at some point. Just be easier for me to type in Temple Church. Right, so there's their official website, there's the wiki. So you can see the round church there. It's the Temple Church of London. Go in there, look at the history and all the architecture. I mean, it's phenomenal. Go to their own website, man. It's got some real good pictures in there, some of the best ones. Temple Church is the late 12th century church in London, so it says it's the late 12th century. Let's see what this says. Temple Church is one of the most historic and beautiful churches in London. From the Crusades, hold on, period by period, here are 800 years of history from the Crusades in the 12th century through the turmoil of the Reformation and the founding father of the Anglican theology, to some of the most famous churches, church music in London, week by week music, while we invite you to come and hear when you are next within striking distance of the temple. The church was built by the Knights Templar, the order of the crusading monks founded to protect pilgrims on their way to and from Jerusalem in the 12th century. The church is in two parts, the round and the chalice, the chancel. I'm mispronouncing that, but anyway, the round church was constructed in 1185. That's what I was looking for. The late 12th century wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to get that because I didn't get that bit of history before. Where's my temple church notes? There, it's here, so that's 1185. Nice one. Right, so constructed in 1185. It was constructed. Was it finished? Right, well, it doesn't say, but anyway, you can go and check that stuff out. Fascinating. Temple Church, home of the Knights Templar. It was used as a treasury as well as a church. It used to keep a lot of their treasures in it and stuff. Where's the timeline? What timeline was I looking at? The Knights Templar, the Crusades. The Knights Templar came to London. It came to England 1128. London gained its absolutely independence from the rest of England 2 years later. Knights Templar in England, that's what we'll do. I'll show you the dates and stuff of the Knights Templar in England, who offered them the land. Obviously it was the king, it was to be Henry I. 1128 to raise men for the Crusades. History. King Henry II. So it wasn't Henry I. Just sold them the city of London. It was his son Henry II that granted the Templars the land across England, including the territory by Castle Banyard. That's one of the castles that was, I think it's Essex House now. It's called. On the River Fleet, where they built a round church, patterned after the Knights Templars' headquarters on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Exactly what we're seeing. And let's look for another round church. I mean, how far? How far do you need to go to find another round church in London? A Knights Templars church, right in front, BBC Broadcasting House. Just a coincidence. All Souls Church. Don't we have Protestant, you need to be Catholic, you don't need to be Muslim. You just need to believe in one great architect. You just need to believe in the grand one, the Lord. You just need to believe in that. Round church, right in front of BBC Broadcasting Building. Just all these coincidences. I think not, but it's just a coincidence. I mean, let's see how far that is. There's Broadcasting House there, and here's the city down there. Right, there's Temple right there. There's the round church there. And I've bloody lost Broadcasting House now. I bloody lost it. No, there it's there. Round church there. Jesus, what's that? 5-10 minutes away. Knights Templars churches. Let's go and have a look and see what's next to the Knights Templars church in the city of London. Built in 1185. 5 years after the corporation was broke off from England. 2 years after, 1128, the Knights Templar first rocked up into England. I mean, these smart guys must have just been rolling into town and just thrown out big bags of money. Here, come on, kings, queens, people of power, rock up, we will loan you money. Only took them 2 years to collect the political capital, I speculate, which allowed them to actually position the kings and queens that had given them bits of their kingdom. Going, right, okay, here, take the kingdom. Now, Fleet Street is obviously synonymous with the press, the free press. That's it's synonymous with the propaganda wing of the fucking city of London, which has enslaved this planet since the fucking beginning of time, like I'm trying to fucking show yous. And I've not even went into the legal system yet. So that's Fleet Street, right? As I said, it's named after the River Fleet. The Knights Templar were given the land to the left of the River Fleet. Where was that? Templars in England. The order was given in advance to the new Temple Church, yeah, because their initial headquarters was a wee village, Hertfordshire, I think it is. I need to check that, but I believe it was Hertfordshire. Hertfordshire. But I believe it was that. Let me see, is there anything else to be taken away from here? Well, there goes on to show you the financial dealings with the Knights Templar. I think if you sort of, I don't know, it's all here for me anyway. But it was consecrated in 1185 and became the location for the initiation rituals. That's the Church of the Holies. That's the new temple. That's the Temple Church. This is the area I'm talking about right now. Let's just go and see what's next to it. And that's what I was going to do. Yeah, let's turn on the map because this gives you a better idea. Right, so there's the Temple Church there. The round church. Right. The old Bank of England. The Bank of England, second central bank in the world. Formed in 1694. We're skipping ahead here, but just to show you what's in and around this area. Their first ever headquarters was just outside the temple, the Knights Templars headquarters, their treasury, their seat of power in the city of London. So what else could be right outside? Oh, the Royal Court of Justice. The Royal Court of Justice, ain't that nice? The Royal Court of Justice in the boundary of the City of London, which isn't part of the Royal Kingdom. So the Royal Court of Justice isn't in the Royal Kingdom. It's in the City of London, which is independent from the Kingdom, from the King's bit. You see who's in charge here? Who has to knock on whose door when the Queen wants to come into the city? I can show you that later. The Queen has to knock on the Lord Mayor's door, and I mean physically fucking knock on the Lord Mayor's door every time and any time she wants to come into the city and do business. Who's in charge? The Knights Templar in the City of London, or the Queen? The Queen's got power, but I know if you know the power structure, the Queen is subordinate to these people, the people, and I always refer to them as the Knights Templar. It's the first name, it's the last name. It's just who it is, but it's an amalgamation of a lot of people. But right, so let's see what else is in and around this place. The Outer Temple Chambers. People don't know. I'll need to go on. There's Lloyd's Bank, Royal Court of Justice, Inner Temple Library. Honourable Society of the Middle Temple, Middle Temple Hall. You've got 4 inns then, 2 Temple Gardens, Middle Temple Gardens, 3 Temple Gardens. The Caribbean Council. That sounds interesting. Never came across that, but Audit House. Audit House. Who are they auditing? Now, I'm speculating that this is the power structure. This is the seat of power. It's by no accident that the first thing that rocked up here is the Temple Church, the head of the Knights Templar, who never went away. The name has changed. They've changed their cloaks, their clothing, but they're the same people, same doctrine, Now, if I go to the Inn's Court, let me see. If you want to be a member of the bar, Inns of Court, Wikipedia. These are the 4 inns. If you want to be a member of the bar in England, these are the 4 bar associations. You've got Lincoln's Inn, Middle Temple, Gray's Inn, and Inner Temple. Right, these are inns. Historically, there used to be places where the Knights Templar and other people. If that's the top left, that's the emblem for that's the last known meaning I know for that is it's the Royal Scots emblem for a royal Scot, not the King of Britain, not the English royal family, but the royal line of Scots, the Rhine rampant. Down there you've got the thing that appears on the Welsh flag. Up here you've got the English flag with the ram on it. I believe it's the ram with a flag and a Knights Templars cross coming out it as well. And then there you have Pegasus. Here you have Pegasus, the horse. That is what's that Inner Temple. From top left, Middle Temple, goes in. And so that is the Inner Temple, right? So let's go and look at Inner Temple. And you shall see the Pegasus horse again, the Honourable Society for the Honourable Society of the Inner Temple. Now you see the Pegasus horse, which was on the plaque of the 4 inns. This is one of the inns. This is the Inner Temple Inn. Behind the Pegasus horse, what you see there is the symbol for the Jesuits. If you come across, if you go and look at the symbol for the Jesuits, you'll see it's here. So the very distinctive thing about the symbol for the Jesuits is the one straight line, a wavy line, one straight line, a wavy line, one straight line, a wavy line, which very coincidentally is the exact symbol that's here on the Honourable Society of the Inner Temple, which sits right next to the headquarters of the Knights Templar, which runs one of the 4 inns of the bar of the Law Society of England and Wales. Who's in control here? Why are there symbols on buildings that portray themselves to be the top of the hierarchy, say? Why is the Jesuit symbol turning up there? Also, let's see where else the Jesuit symbol is turning up. I've shown this many a time. And I found a really good picture last night, and I hopefully can find it again. Nope, because I definitely didn't need to do that amount of bullcrap. So, yep. Let's try that. Is that pedo bear? There's a pedo bear hanging outside number 10 Downing Street. Anyway, I digress. Just want to show you the Jesuit sun symbol right above number 10 Downing Street. There it's there. That's the best one. Definition you get, and that's cracking. So there clearly you can see the wavy line. Oh, but they're all wavy lines. They aren't symbolic. You've got the wavy line, and then the window frame being used to symbolise the straight line. Exact same pattern you get on the window of the Society of the Inner Temple with the Pegasus horse. Pegasus going back to Greek mythology. Go and check out Pegasus horse. These people are go and check out the Society of Jesus. The Society of Jesus, Jesuits. They're soldiers. Ilolia or Luluia, I can never get Agnatius of Loyola. That dude, he was a soldier, man. This was a unit. This was like a company. He called it a company. This was a soldier unit. This was an army of Jesus. And they are still about. And these soldiers' symbols are turning up all over the place. Number 10 Downing Street, outside the temple, the headquarters of the Knights Templars. So how did I get to there? Temple Church, went on about that. I was trying to show what was in and around here. Where did I get to the timeline? Well, I included the Jesuits, although the Jesuits didn't rear their head until 1540. I'm trying to show the timeline of the Knights Templars. So I got to show the corporation being formed of the City of London in 1141. That wasn't too long after the Knights Templars rocking up. What is the symbol for the City of London? It's the same symbol the Knights Templars used. This isn't a coincidence. It's still posted everywhere. It isn't an accident. It isn't a coincidence. It isn't, oh, a wee quirk of fate. It's the exact same fucking gang sign. Still all over, plastered over everywhere over the City of London. And you go and ask, nah, the Pope and that guy said the Knights Templars would go away, and they did. They're still fucking there. The Temple Church is still there. The seats of power, the places where the decisions get made that matter, still in and around on the doorstep of the Temple. The headquarters in England of the financial hub of the world. So this is the corporate fascism. This is the base of the financial stranglehold of the world. The Roman fucking Empire is perpetuating on us all. And it's there for everybody to see. The buildings tell you, the street outline tell you, the history of the planet tells you, the fucking history of the City of London tells you, the names, the times, the date, they all interlink and tell you this is where it's happening. This is where the problem lies. This is the Vatican and the Washington DC, the three seats of the power of cunt baggery. Right, so that takes us up to 1141 plus. So next what I'm going to do is crack on from 1312 after the Pope tried to disband the Knights Templar. Get 9 viewers, so some people are still watching. I'm going to go into the chat room and have a wee read in it there. So if anybody wants to say it in the chat room, now's the time to do it. Also, tell me what you think about me just turning on the camera and rambling bullcrap about all this. I'm taking my time over it. This is what I would be doing myself when I'm researching stuff, taking down bullet points and stuff. I'd be going over all this because there's a lot to go over and there's a lot of information you can take just away by looking at the architecture and stuff and breaking it down. So let me know in the chat room if it's good, bad, ugly or indifferent. Right, so what I want to do, stop the screen share and focus. Down in the city, we're getting ready. Now I can go have a look in the chat room. Now there was a diesel, more information. Roman maritime law rules now, not the real common law. Law of the land. I'll show you that as well, Mitty Bush. I think I've been calling you Mighty Bush. Mitty Bush. I think I've been showing. I think I'll show you that as well when it comes to the inns and the separate inns. 2 of them are Knights Templar, and 2 of them are of the clergy from Rome. Right, which is interesting. And the 2 of the inns were sent there to put the halt on the Knights Templars inns from teaching common law, to try and get them to teach them canon law, Roman corporate law. Okay, so that was Only team ever to play all their games on one pitch in World Cup, win one World Cup held as usual. That might be about England winning the World Cup. You're talking about my relatives, Kip. Swiss guards watch the Vatican. Very weird. Aye, I'm aware of that, but I've never overthought it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying I've never had stood back and appreciated the what's hiding right in front of our eyes. Sound check. That's Trace HD 1. Stroney 69. Phone interference, Kip. There's Jean's pretty pups. Hi guys, how you doing, Jean? I think not. Peter I must have said that at some point. And talking about the Bastard Broadcasting Corporation. Did you show the Jesuit insult to Jesus yet, Kip, on the seal? That blew my mind. No, I haven't, Jean. I'll go over that again. But by the way, Jean, do you want me to let you in on a wee secret? I've only actually seen it for the first time last night. I knew about the nails. I knew about the shit backwards. But I'd never actually realised that it was the shit on Jesus. Last night was the first time that actually computed. Because I'll tell you what it was. I'd seen somebody else telling me about the shit backwards. I was then watching a documentary about Machiavelli. Very interesting guy, man. Everybody talks about Machiavellianism and stuff. Nobody knows much about him. Go and research Machiavelli, The Little Prince, his book. Who reads The Little Prince? The people who still use it to this day, including Tony Blair, war generals, the works. If you want to take over a small country, go and read The Little Prince. But I was watching a documentary about Machiavelli. Everybody's heard of Machiavelli and thinks of fucking Tupac. No, Machiavelli's a real Italian man. Came about in and around just before the Jesuits bounced up. I was watching a documentary about Machiavelli, and it was showing you some of... This is what blew my mind at the time, because this was on like bog standard TV. I was watching a documentary about Machiavelli. The documentary showed you some of his artifacts. I'm trying to remember. And it showed you, I don't know what it would have been, a stone case, like a small sarcophagus, stone fucking thing. Can't remember what they explained it, but I seen these three things on it, and I was like, that's the things that's on the Jesuit. That's the things that are on the Jesuit symbol. But it still didn't make sense to me. But I seen them on an artifact that was Machiavelli's. It only had the what I now know to be nails. So I then went away and researched. Man, it took me about 2.5 days to find out, because I recorded it, took pictures of the things, put it in Google image search and all that. I couldn't find nothing, because just looking at them and not knowing that they're representing the 3 nails. Sometimes you get 4 nails, by the way, because there's different stories about how many nails were used to pin up Jesus. Some say 3, some say 4, because some say there was a nail put behind him, not in his head, but a nail put above his head that had a sign or something on it as well. There's another variation of the story where you'll see the different factions. Sometimes you'll see 4 nails, sometimes you'll see 3 nails. That tells a lot as well about what story you're coming from. So I was watching the documentary about Machiavelli. Seen the 3 nails. I knew that I'd seen them on the Jesuit symbol. Hadn't translated it yet. Then went away and found that some people at that time used it to represent the nails that Jesus was crucified with. Last night was the first time that I realised that if you put the shit and the 3 nails together, the Jesuits are shitting all over Jesus. But I'll go into that, Gene. I'll show people that if people didn't see it last night. I'll firstly just batter through the rest of these comments. Peter Jansen and the Red Cross, obviously talking about the nice Templars gang sign. Spot on, mate. It's dead weird, Peter, when I read your name, I keep calling you Peter Jansen, and I don't normally call you that, so I just need to learn to say Peter, because it's weird. And the Red Cross, there's the 1, 2, 3, 5 link. There's a Masonic temple in every city and every town in Britain. mate, there's more than one. Jesus, I'll show you a real good resource, man. I don't know, take notes of what I should be doing when I get back to it. Shit. Right. Masonic Temples UK. Right, I'll blow your mind, mate. You think there's more than one in every the Fabians, talking about the Fabian Society that Tony Blair's in. I've looked into them and I've bloody forgot more than I remember right now, man. So K9 Griffin, mate, if you've got any information, stick it in the comments box and I'll get back to that. TriStar Pictures and Lionsgate, aye, spot on, mate. That's Peter again. Right, just before. Well, the world's bad for the Masons and stuff. The world is bad for Masons. I know Scotland and Britain to be particularly bad through experience. I don't know for what the rest of Europe is like. This is my dad's Masonic Bible. I found it there, I don't know, a couple of months ago or something. I don't know if it's the one he used, because there's nothing written in it or anything. So I don't know whether this was the one he actually. But if you're interested in this sort of a stuff and like a bit of reading, go and pick yourself up a Masonic edition. It's just like every other Bible, but well, it's like hold on, man, I'm going to get this camera's focus is a piece of shit. So it's the Masonic edition, Collins, Holy Bible. Jesus, my dad didn't keep it very clean. Fucking bits of dirt on it and everything. But see, it's all empty. It's not been presented or anything. Don't know if my dad used it. It's all empty. Visiting brethren, friends, marriages, births. Now, what you get in this Bible is the Freemasonry and the Bible. It's the King James Bible you get. But what you get at the beginning, which I love, man, is the people in the book. This is the Masonic part. Freemasonry in the Bible. That's amazing. The early translations, fucking amazing. I've not even read half of this book, man. Blows your mind. The People's Bible, the early Freemasons. See, that's when you know the history of Freemasons, when you actually go and read their own fucking books. Although, granted, this don't tell you the half of it. This is for the uninitiated, man. But if you've got eyes to see and you can translate wee bits and bobs and stuff, you see how shit this camera is going in and out of focus. Piece of shit. Let me just quickly show you this. Let's see if my camera can focus in on this. See up there, Freemasonry and the Bible. Now, what do those pictures resemble? Do those pictures look like the Beano? Do they look like a comic strip? Well, that's Hebrews making bricks from the tomb at Thebes. Sections of legend and the craft. Went a wee bit of symbology. Let's see what we get in this picture. I don't know if you can read that. Does that come across backwards? See the sun coming up. Let me see. Egyptians operating in metals. Wow. Origins of the ritual. Mount Ararat. Right? So you want this costume of a high priest, right? So I don't know, a lot of people think this is boring. The Bible in the lodge. Oh, right. I go on about the architecture all the time, right? I mean, I go about the architecture, and it's so simple. All you need to, like, enough said, man, right? The Parthenon, the Golden Ratio. Go and watch Donald Duck in Mathematical Land. Donald Duck in Mathematical Land. Go and watch it. No. Seriously, people, go and pick yourself up a Masonic Bible. Read it. Then come and talk to me about the Illuminati and all that bull crap, man. Right, so where was I? I was going to show you the Jesuit symbol. That's what I was going to do. I was going to show you the Jesuit symbol. So what I need to do is figure out where the hell I want to open up. No, I'm just going to quickly go back into the chat. Right, there we go. Lionsgate, doing a good job, Kit. Cheers, Jean. I think it's great to be here. Good stuff, K9. Mitty Bush. Now we have a Jesuit at the Holy Throne. Well, the Pope, the new Pope's a Jesuit. Aye, mate, spot on. Soldier of Jesus, willing to kill, do anything. Kit, you're doing. Flipped me out. Aye, the Jesuit thing. I'm just going to go straight onto that Jesuit thing. Bush Jr. reads it every year. Oh, Little Soldier by Machiavelli. I know you're talking about. Aye, mate, all the world leaders read. Is it Little? No, I said the Little Soldier. The Little Prince. Aye, the Little Prince by Machiavelli. Small book. People who have literature, people that are stronger readers than me, are strong readers, go and read the Little Prince by Machiavelli. Hopefully it won't corrupt you. It's mandatory school literature in Germany, Little Prince. Fuck, no wonder they're all fucking yes. Jesus, I hope that's that racist. It should be everywhere. Have it in hand. Niccolo Machiavelli. Kip, how about with all the people sharing their knowledge, doing a post for people to look up? Aye, mate, butter in. Everybody and anybody come into this, use the chat room. Everybody, I encourage it, man. Butter into the chat room, put anything you want in the chat room. I'm trying to dip into it, so if anybody wants me to ask it, like look at something, go over something, I mean, I'm here to learn as well, so teach me new things, man. I certainly don't know all, man. That's why I'm trying to show you what I'm looking at, so like, you see the information I know and people can fill in, because see, when you go over this stuff, as a famous saying goes, there's so many rabbit holes. Everybody's mind goes. I mean, look at the stuff Peter was bouncing in with Lionsgate and TriStar Films and stuff, man. It's everywhere. But you're crazy for pointing this out because it literally is everywhere. But I've shown you everything there about the Knights Templar in the City of London and stuff. For me, it just isn't a coincidence. I can't put it down to coincidental bullcrap. Here in the US, most all judges and attorneys are Masons. That's very true. And cops, yep. And if they aren't Masons, it don't matter because it's a Masonic organisation anyway. So, it's kind of let a few dilly-dalliers in and stuff, but it's Masonically run. Right, so what I was going to do now is the Jesuit sign. So let's see, I've got Henry the First of England open, don't need that. Right, let's try and get back onto the screen share. Right, that should be the screen share back on. That's the Domesday Book. That was the big survey of what William the Bastard owned, William the Conqueror. That's the city of London. I'll go back into that. Finished with the Crusades. I don't really need to go into the Crusades other than the time frame, the reference, the emergence of the Knights Templar and Hospitallers, both as orders from the Crusades. Where the fuck's that? That's open. That's the Crusades as well. Don't need that. Don't need that just now. You can always do with the map. Temple Church. We've looked at that. We've looked at that. It's the Knights Templar in England. I think I've covered that. That was the inner temple that was leading to the Society of Jesus. And then you've got the Society of Jesus. Now, this is the thing that we're talking about with. I was talking about. Jean was talking about in the chat room that I stumbled across last night. If you look at the you know, I have looked at and forgotten what the actual IHS stands for. So let's have a look at it in its different forms, because you get very different forms. The one thing that always remains true is the cross, the nails, and the sunburst with the straight and wavy lines. There's a... Well, that can still be construed as a cross. Right. So yeah, so let's decipher. Right, so there's your cross, represents where Jesus was crucified. You've got 3 nails which represent the 3 nails that was used to crucify Jesus. So if you take those 3 nails as representing Jesus, and then you've got this IHS. Now, if you consider the cross could be a T, and then you put it backwards, like a lot of these secret societies, backward writing, mirror writing, so on and so forth, and it isn't a coincidence. I mean, I remember when I first started seeing this stuff, and I was pointing it out to my mum and my sister, and I was met with the very common thing of, oh, it's just a coincidence, or, I mean, they wouldn't see it, but then, after time, when it all mounts up, they realise this isn't a coincidence. But it's very simply, very easily explained. This comes from a time and date when there was no internet, there was no Enigma machines, there was no encryption, there was no telephone. The ways of communicating long distances were via written bits of paper that were sealed by a seal that could be broken, manipulated and stuff. So it was very hard to genuinely know and keep things 1,000,000% secret. I mean, it was very hard to communicate over long distances in secret. So the codes, ways, signs, symbols all developed. Mirror writing was one of them. Here's a very obvious one. Go and look at pi. People know what pi is. 3.14. Go and write down 3.14. Take it up to a mirror and put it on a mirror. It spells the word pi. So the number itself spells out the word that's actually that now makes the sound that explains that. Is that by coincidence, or is that a way of communicating 3.14, which allows people to build in an accurate scale over long distances, without the middleman knowing the secret, without the middleman being able to decipher the code and get the knowledge that's hidden within inside? I mean, for me, if you use your brain, I would be surprised if they didn't speak in riddles, rhymes, codes, and mirror language. But anyway, I digress. So you've got the S, the H, the I, and the T. Shit. Shit's a very... I've never actually looked into the history of the word shit, but from the little understanding and usage I know of, it's very generic. Shit. So it could be seen that that is Jesus. The symbol for the soldiers of Jesus is shit on Jesus. If you take the 3 nails as representing the crucifixion, Christ, Jesus Christ, and then the shit backwards, that the IHS with the cross being backwards, shit, that is shit on Jesus. It's catchphrase, say what you see. I like Dave saying that when he gets that. Say what you see. Don't let the BBC tell you what you're looking at. Don't let anybody else tell you what you're looking at. Actually go, I've got the brain, I will use it. And then think for yourself, and you'll actually come closer to the truth than anything anybody else will teach you. So the Jesuits said that they bounce up to what? 1540. Jesus. Jesus. They didn't bounce up to 1540. I'm trying to think, is there anything I haven't covered? I've not covered the Temple Bar and the Law Society. People know about the bar. People are members of the bar. They don't know what the bar is. I'm going to try and explain that a wee bit. I've never heard this anywhere else. It's just by looking at the fucking the architecture, the things on the ground, the things that came first and are still there, and what they represent, and where you get the similar things dotted all over the world, and what they actually represent. I'm going to start arches. The bar is an arch. Arch. How many arches do you get? You get arches of McDonald's. You get I can never say it right, but the famous arch in France, the Arc de Triomphe or whatever it's called. All the historical, a lot of the historical cities of the world, you will always find an arch. That is representative of, I'm going to put it out there, is of slavery, of fascism, of having to pay your piper. I'm bigger than you, give me money. That's what it's a symbol of. Scumbaggery, a symbol of what's wrong with the world. So I've got the Crusades, got the Battle of Hastings in. The Rothschilds don't rear their ugly head until 1760s. We're nowhere near that. The Illuminati are 7 years after the Rothschilds. Knights Templar, they've been in. That's where we'll take it from. The Knights Templar being disbanded. No, sack it. I'll go into the Temple Bar. Right, let's see what the Temple Bar is. Temple Bar. Right. Oh, it's a podium. Now this isn't. You go and look at the history and stuff. This isn't what it has always been. It's a lot of different other things. But to this day, that and another archway. I don't know if they got them. There's the archway. That's the Temple Bar in 1870, right? So the bar represents a bar. It used to be a bar across the road, made out of wood or fucking metal, whatever. It used to be a bar across the road to stop people crossing. A barrier. So the bar, when you hear the Temple Bar, it's the Temple Barrier. When you hear the bar of law, you remember the barrier. You get it now? See, when you think of the legal bar as the Bar Association, it's the Barrier Association. It's representative of if you don't pay us, you can't cross this barrier, right? So the people that are part of the people that are members of the bar, if you don't pay us, if you don't do what we say, you're not a member of the club. We can do what you. We're bigger than you. We're stronger than you. We'll put you in jail. We'll fine you money. We'll send our corporate fascist police force out to jail you for owing us money. The bar is a barrier. The bar represents what was put around the city of London, being a barrier, which was right next to the temple, which regulated all trade inside into the city. Everything that came and went in and out the city represented all trade between the city of London and the rest of the country. All came through the bar, the Temple Bar. It was a barrier. It's a fucking. It's a airport. It's a fucking. It's a toll road. It's a toll booth. It's an ability to tax, regulate, control fucking everything, including the law, trade, everything. The bar is where the Queen has to ask the permission of the Lord Mayor of London. When did they get a Lord Mayor? 1141. That's when the corporation was started. Hold on, I do have this, because they were given royal... citizens gained the right to elect a mayor with consent of the king in 1189, and then from 1215 it was full time. It was just the citizens elected a Lord Mayor. That Lord Mayor is more powerful than the Queen. The Queen wants to come into the City of London. The Queen has to knock on the door, and the Lord Mayor has to rock up and put his sword either side of her head, or hand him her sword, so that he knows that we're not going to chop your head off if you come inside the City of London, because you can, because they're a sovereign state, and if that other sovereign comes into their state, they can do what they want, more or less. The Lord Mayor of the City of London is more powerful. No, it's not the Lord Mayor, is it? It's just the Mayor. Can't remember the exact words right now, but anyway, so that's what the Temple Bar is. Let's have a look at the Temple Bar on a map. Let's see where it is. I mean, where could it be? Where could it be? Where could it be? Where could it be? It's not going to turn up one of these places of power or anything by coincidence now, is it? Alright. Jesus, I think that is actually... Oh, no. I understand now. That is the Temple Bar. This is Royal Exchange. Oh, it's St Paul's Cathedral, actually. Where the archway has been moved. It wasn't where it was originally. That's the archway I was talking about. We'll find there's another Temple Bar around here. Where the hell is it? That's on. Temple Bar, London. Aye. Right, what I'm going to do it by sight, because they're obviously not wanting me to show up. Is that it there? Nah, because it's right in the middle of the road. I know it's in and around here, because it's where the is it before or after the Strand? Is it up here? Is that it there? Why can't I find that on the map? That's really annoying me now. Oh, Jesus, how do I get out of this crap? Right. See, that's the Temple Bar marker. Let me see if this works. Now, I might be mistaken, but that looks like the Royal Court of Justice to the side of that bar. And as I said, there's more of them. It's a marker for the barrier. I mean, it isn't just one place, but it used to represent all the gates that were around London. There used to be a bar at every gate. The two things that I find that most represent it now that still exist as original barriers or boundaries is the dragon, the barrier with a dragon on top, and this archway which is up next to St Paul's Cathedral. So Temple Bar is the point of London where Fleet Street City of London becomes the Strand Westminster. See, that's the bit I was talking about. And where the City of London traditionally erected a barrier to regulate the trade into the city. Today, the Royal Courts of Justice, it was Royal Courts of Justice right outside. Royal Court of Justice, right outside the Temple Bar, right outside the Knights Templar church again. Right, there's the Temple Church. There's the Royal Court of Justice. Here's the Strand. Here is where the Dragon is, I believe, which I couldn't find it though, but I'm right, and this is where they used to regulate the trade coming from the west, from Westminster, in and out of the City of London. So right outside the Temple Church, the Knights Templars headquarters, then the first international bankers, they used their churches as treasuries. They kept their money and treasure in there to a certain degree. Is right next to the barrier, the London Bar, right next to the Bar Association of the legal and law professions. So when you understand what the bar is, what the Temple Bar is, the Temple Bar is a barrier that the Corporation of London used to regulate corporate fascism, every bit of trade in and out of the City of London. So you always had to pay the piper being the Knights Templar, the people that own that part. I've covered why I believe the Knights Templar have bought and paid for the City of London a long time ago, and before they were flung out, before they had to go underground. So the Temple Bar is right in front of it, and the Bar Association is the inns where the temple is. So you have the Royal Court of Justice, the bar, the Temple Bar, and the Knights Templars home, all at this wee bit of London, but it's just a coincidence. So when we go on to talk about the Roman maritime law that we're now getting governed with, that's what I can show, the separate inns. Do I have that up? No, I don't. Inns Court. Yeah, Inns of Court. Now, let's have a look at the 4 courts that make up the inns, that make up the Professional Association for Barristers of England and Wales. Right, first, let's look at the Inner Temple. To go to the part of practice a barrister. Well, let's look at the history, right? The Knights Templar and the founding of the Inner Temple. The history of the Inner Temple began in the early years of the reign of Henry II, when the contingent of the Knights Templars in London moved from the Old Temple in Holborn to a new location on the banks of the River Thames, stretching from Fleet Street to what is now Essex House. The original Templar here covered much of what is now the northern part of Chancery Lane, originally New Street, which was created by the Knights to provide access to their new buildings. The Old Temple eventually became London's palace of the Bishop of Lincoln. Right, let's see where this building is. Right, this will blow your mind. Hold on, I need to find this. Right, okay, Southampton Buildings. Right, so let's have a wee read at this. Let's just have a wee read at this. The original temple, the original Knights Templars temple, here covered much of what is now northern part of Chancery Lane, originally New Street. which was created by the knights to provide access to their new building. The old temple eventually became London's palace of the Bishop of Lincoln, and after the Reformation it became the home of the Earl of Southampton, and the location is now named Southampton Buildings. Where do you think Southampton Buildings is? Let's have a wee look. Let's have a wee look. Oh Jesus, I'm beginning to think I'm getting mixed up now. Oh Jesus, I'm getting mixed up. Do you know what it is? I'll show you later on. I thought it was going to be Buckingham Palace, but it's the Knights Hospitallers that Buckingham Palace was originally the home of. Oh Jesus, what an anticlimax. But feck it, it's the night. I fecked up. Anyway, so it was just up the road. Aye, just up the road to where the old temple were. Jesus, bastard. Anyway, the first group of lawyers came to live here during the 13th century, although as legal advisors to the Knights Templar rather than a society, right? So you have one of the four inns of the courts of the whole law society of England and Wales, been set up by the Knights Templars and been set up to originally be legal advisors to the Knights Templars. But of course they just disappeared. The Knights fell out of favour, or here's the fairy tale. The Knights fell out of favour and the order was dissolved in 1312 when land seized by the king and granted to the Knights Hospitallers. That's the Knights of Malta. That's who the Queen's a member of. I mean, just go and look at the amount of people of world state that you find are members of the Knights Hospitallers, who are the Knights Templars. The Hospitallers probably did not live on the property, but rather used it as a source of revenue through rent. Right, so that's the inner temple. Let's have a look at Middle Temple's history. Does it have a history? History. The 13th century, the inns court originated as hostels and schools for student lawyers. Middle Temple is the western part of the temple, the headquarters of the Knights Templars, until they were dissolved in 1312. Knights Templars and the creation of what is now the modern day law societies are they're hand in hand, people, the same entity. Now, here's the thing. Remember I told you about Pegasus, the horse which appears on the window of the society of the inner temple, Pegasus. If you go and read the Greek mythology about Pegasus, I can't exactly remember, I found this out the other day, in one of the stories about Pegasus, or I don't know, there's something to do with a fountain to do with Pegasus, I can't really remember just now, but there, Fountain Court at the heart of the Middle Temple, but that's just a coincidence, nothing to do with Pegasus. So the Honourable Society of the Middle Temple is one of the four inns courts exclusively entitled to call their members to the English bar as barristers. The others being the Inner Temple history. So that's what it was. Temple's church still stands as particular church of the Inner and Middle Temple. There has never been an outer temple apart from a Victoria era office block of that name. An order of 1337 mentions the lane through the middle of the court of the temple used by the Chancery justices and clerks on the way to Westminster, which became known as Middle Temple Lane and probably gave its name to the inn. So even all the clerks and Chancery justices that went to Westminster came from the fucking inns in the night next to the home of the Knights Templar. Again, there's nothing to see here. Don't learn the history. Don't bother going and looking at don't bother going and looking at the history, trying to look at it, join the dots and stuff. So these were the schools for the original barristers and stuff. Now, what's interesting is Lincoln's Inn and Gray's Inn. The inner, there's 4 of them. The inner and middle temple, I would argue, are Knights Templars. Grey Inn and Lincoln's Inn, I'm going to argue, come more. Well, let's have a read and see what he's writing. The Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn is one of the 4 courts of inn of barristers, called to the bar, blah blah blah. Let's have a look at its history. During the 12th and 13th century, the law was taught in the City of London primarily by the clergy. During the 13th century, 2 events happened which destroyed this form of legal education. First, a decree by Henry III, right? That would be Henry I gave the gave the City of London a charter. Henry II gave the Knights Templar a sheriff and allowing them to elect their own mayor and stuff. And what has Henry III done? A decree by Henry III on the 2nd of December 1234 that no institutes of legal education could exist in the City of London. And second, a papal bull, which is like a papal order. It's like the Pope going, you shall do this, I'll papal bull your ass. That prohibited the clergy from teaching the common law. This is the death of common law and the start of the league, and the shackles put on and the demise of common law. All again at the Knights Templars' fucking doorstep. Just coincidence. Just a coincidence. From teaching common law rather than canon law. As a result of the system of legal education fell apart, the common lawyers migrated. So they destroyed the common law element to the hamlet of Holborn, the nearest place to the law courts at Westminster that was outside the city. So that's the history of Lincoln's Inn. So you've got 2 Knights Templars inns. Then you've got this Lincoln's Inn rocking up and going, oh, papal bull, take your common law and bowl. This is canon law. Let's see what Gray's Inn was all about. Let's go and look at the history of Grey Inn during the 12th and 13th centuries. Law was taught in this one. Seems very Henry III. Right, so let's look at all these Henry characters, and after William the Bastard dropped up, we had Henry Cunt 1, Henry Cunt 2, and Henry Cunt 3. Sold everything all down the river. Whatever laws, whatever rules were in place through monarchy in this country to protect the people and put God at the top of the pyramid rather than corporations. This was the dissolve of it all. This was we didn't need a French Revolution. We didn't need the French Revolution. We'd already had it. Here's your French Revolution happening in England. Here's the corporation, Uzump and all. But we did obviously still have a monarchy outside the City of London, but the City of London became its own wee entity, didn't give a crap what happened outside the city walls. It was too busy getting on with its corporate fascism inside the walls. So you had Henry I granted them a share of Henry I giving them a charter. Henry II, what's it Henry II done? Gave them a sheriff, and now Henry III selling off, destroying common law. So have a look. Just having a wee look here, see if there's anything to go into. So that covers the how the Knights Templar have been there from the demise of common law as well. The absolute start of it. Now you had the Jesuits popping up in 1540, still going strong to this day. That was to put the spread of Protestantism down. Keep the Pope in control, keep the Pope the king of the castle. You had the Rothschilds rocking up. See, all these secret societies that exist The Knights Templar had been run out of town by 1312. They've disbanded and they've disappeared. All their wealth, all their knowledge, all their mystical stuff just up in smoke, never to be seen again until somebody wants to call you nuts for saying the Knights Templar still run the show. More commonly known as the Knights Hospitallers now, because the Knights Hospitallers were happy to hide them, take all their money and stuff when they were disbanded in 1312. Isn't it happened in the 1400s? Oh, that's where we can go to. So we had the the corporation in place. The city is its own city. The king isn't no longer in charge. It's destroyed common law and within inside the city. Nobody was allowed to practice. No institute of legal education could exist in the city of London. You see, you get it now. They weren't allowing people to come in and go, this is common law, because this didn't exist inside, because there wasn't any law. They were a corporate entity running around doing what they want as they want for profit. To keep the Knights Templars bank balance up, to enslave us all due to their doctrine. And you had the Royal Exchange Square. The Royal Exchange was founded in 1565 in the city of London. Yep, the Royal Exchange. Yeah, I can't read my own notes here, so let's have a look at the Royal Exchange. Right, so the Royal Exchange was founded in 1565, and I've got royal patronage as well because it was signed into. Obviously, the king at the time had to allow them to rape us again. That was quite interesting, actually. Belfast, Dublin, Edinburgh, London. There was a Royal Exchange Square in Glasgow. Yep, so you've got Glasgow, Edinburgh, Manchester, London, Dublin and Belfast. Oh, Royal Exchange. There's the Royal Exchange. That's the London one. There's Royal Exchange Square in Glasgow. Notice the architecture. Let me go back at. Oh, I know the camera's not on. Remember the Parthenon I showed you in the Masonic Bible, with the golden ratio, the Parthenon in Athens. There you have the exact same golden ratio architecture. It's just a coincidence, nothing to see here. That's Royal Exchange Square, Glasgow. This is Royal Exchange in London. That was opened in 1574. This was the 18th century, I believe. But let me actually check that because I'm not. Make sure. What's the date? Give me the date, Marfo. Oh geez, I can't find it quickly, but anyway, the architecture speaks for itself, and the cone in the head as well speaks for Glasgow. It's brilliant. The cone in the head, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look, that statue always, I mean, always has a traffic cone on its head. But aye, that's the Royal Exchange Glasgow. Let's look at the Royal Exchange London. Founded in the 16th century by a merchant, corporate merchant, as a centre for commerce, corporate fascism, slavery, for the City of London. Now, again in the City of London we have the Royal Court of Justice, and now we have Royal Exchange. Both of them within the city, within the City of London. The Queen can't come into the City of London without the permission of the Lord Mayor, and these both things have royal in front of its name. It's the same scam that they used when they called the Federal Reserve federal. It's the same scam. It's the same Jude-eye mind trick. Here, look, we're raping you, don't worry though, because it's royal, when it's not. It's corporate fascism entities raping and pillaging the people and enslaving the people of this world. And I honestly don't think I'm going over the top here, man. It's all there for you, see. So let's look at the history. Officially opened in 51 by Queen Elizabeth I. It's a royal title and license to sell alcohol. Stockbrokers were not allowed in the Royal Exchange because they're rude manners. Right, okay, I think the best thing to show you about the Royal Exchange is where it is on the map and what's around it. What you have the Royal Exchange getting founded in 1565. This was the start of the speed up and the precursor to the Industrial Revolution, the industrial enslavement of the world. You had Lloyd's Coffee Shop getting founded in 1688. Sorry, you get the Royal Exchange getting founded in 1568. Then the Bank of England in 1694. So that's the slip from. That's the slip of the corporation actually then to becoming the people that print the money for the rest of the country, rather than them just operating on a bartering basis with trade. They're then moving to actually control the money supply. So the Royal Bank of the Bank of England was set up in 1694. You had St Paul's in 1708. You had the Lloyd's Coffee Shop, that's Lloyd's of London, the start of the whole insurance scam. That was founded in 1688. They were all precursors to what was commonly known as the Industrial Revolution, which everybody's happy about. I mean, yeah, the strides ahead in technology, great. The mass enslavement of the people of the world and the lessening of freedoms of people being able to exist without paying the man, without having to pass the bar, without having to go by a bar. It's a barrier. It's just a barrier that it's no longer physical. It's theoretical. It's a barrier you have to pass. You have to pay the piper. It's taxation. Then you had the kick off in the Industrial Revolution in the late in the 18th century. You had the Rothschilds rearing their ugly head in 1760s, using the Battle of Waterloo in 1850 to take over the London Stock Exchange. In 1850, when Rothschild took over the London Stock Exchange, my argument is he didn't. The Knights Templars own the City of London. They control what comes in and what goes out. Everything that goes in and what goes out is controlled by the Knights Templar. Everything. The people who win and lose inside the City of London get kept their winnings, but they still need to pay the piper of the Knights Templar as they cross the the Temple Bar. So they don't give a shit about they don't give a fuck if it's the Rothschilds, if it's the Houstons, if it's the Campbells, if it's the... They don't give a fuck who it is, as long as they pass the bar, they pay the piper. So the Rothschilds, yeah, big, powerful, yeah, lots of money, yeah, but ultimately subservient to the Knights Templar. Same with the Illuminati, who came out 6 years after the Rothschilds, funnily enough. They came out at the same time, and they were the Illuminati were suppressed back in 1785. They were only around for less than 10 years. Around for 9 years. Then their plans get found, their shit was in the public domain, their books were published, people were writing newspaper articles about them, so they disappeared. The people that were putting money into the Illuminati went, fuck that shit, I'm not putting money in to an organisation whose name's plastered all over the papers. Game's a bogey, go away, the Illuminati no longer exists. The doctrine, the people, the money, the ideas, the theories, the wants, the wills of the society that were called the Illuminati back in the day. Do they still exist? Yes, but by every other name other than the Illuminati. Within secret societies and Masonic orders, you will find titles and ranks of the illuminated ones, the Illuminists, the Illuminati. You will find those types of ranks, references, and so on and so forth. But are they in a club called the Illuminati? No! Fuck's sake, Mark Dice. Well done, mate. So next time you hear Mark Dice, the Illuminati, you can tell him, you can bitch slap him and tell him to shut the fuck up and say Illuminati don't exist, pal. Now the OTO, which is Aleister Crowley's baby, they do exist. The OTO, Aleister Crowley, people pronounce it different, but he was born in what, 1875 and died in 47. He influenced the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, all sorts, crazy sex magica. He came from secret societies and then produced his own magic. Jesus, I need to drink a water. Right, Jesus, that's 5:30, man. So I've came up right up to Aleister Crowley. I'm not going to go in depth. My head's busting. I think I've done a good shift and put out a lot of information. I've tried to explain the whole city of London, where we are up to this date, where it came from, where the separation happened, how it's corporate fascism, what the bar is, and how they control everything. I mean, it's not much to do in one afternoon, but I tried to put all the dates and facts and figures and show you all that as well. So I'm going to I'm going to batter into the chat room. Let's see what's happening in there. If anybody's still actually watching, that would be good to know as well. Well, I've got 11 viewers now, going up. So I'm going to batter into the chat room. So if anybody wants to say it in the chat, batter in just now. Let me see. Stop this screen sharing crap. I see. Just noticed Dean's in the chat room. Let me go back where it was. And Cops. There's Mitty Bush. The light bearer Lucifer. Right in front of the palace. Oh, I've noticed that as well, mate. There's so much, you could be there all day trying to explain it all, man. The light bearer Lucifer right in front of the palace. How fitting for them to look every morning. Oh, that's what I can do. Right, let's Knights Hospitallers, Buckingham Palace. I'll see if I can find that. I'm sure I'm not tripping. I came across that. I'm going to go straight back into the chat room, so if anybody wants to see anything in the chat room, batter in. Quickly going to find this, see if I can find it. I don't know if I'm daydreaming, I hope I'm not. Pretty sure it came in. If I can't find it quickly, I'll... Let me see. List of monarchs of Malta. That isn't the William IV was born in Buckingham Palace. Victoria was the monarch of Malta, which I wasn't aware of. But I'm aware of now, that's weird. House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. The Queen's relatives was Edward the VII. Right. Oh, so Elizabeth II is the monarch of Malta. Never knew that. Never knew that. But I don't think I'm going to find that Buckingham Palace thing. Let me see. I might have made a mistake or something, I don't know. Right. I'll need to look into that and get back to it if I can find it. I think I've possibly fucked up or something, but who knows. Right, let's get into the chat room and see what people have been saying in the chat room. So, the light bearer right in front of the palace, to right Mitty Bush. A Christogram, a form of monogram for the name Jesus, IHS. That must be about obviously what the IHS stands for on the meant to be Jesus hits. Maybe he was a pop star. In this sign you will conquer. That's Canine Griffin saying about the Latin of what the IHS stands for. That sounds about right, doesn't it? In this sign you will conquer. Jesuits, the Jesus soldiers, the company of Jesus, they were soldiers, and they were allowed to do it. They were exonerated of all sins as long as it was done for the betterment of God or in the name of Jesus or whatever. But they did write some crazy stuff into their doctrine. Shit, I missed a lot. Ratio perfect. Don't worry, mate. I'm pretty sure you can actually jump back and maybe take it from the start. If not, obviously this whole thing will be. Jesus, that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I've been talking crap. This whole thing will be going up on the channel as soon as it's finished and processed, mate. So you'll be able to catch it any time. Ask people in the chat room, man. I have actually started to try. I tried to start at the beginning of London when it was Londonium. The Roman founded when Roman founded London right up until modern day. Parasites. There's Dean in the chat room. All right, Dean, mate. How you doing? Probably be chatting to you tonight at some point, mate. Unlucky Friday the 13th. Yeah, that's the Knights Templars. History in France, when the Pope rounded up all the knights and accused them of heresy. The Pope dissolved the order in 1312. Aye, mate, it was 1307 when the Pope started burning them and shit. And then, under pressure by the kings at the time, the Pope eventually disbanded the order in 1312. Or so they'll have us believe. Well, guys, I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that done. I've tried to get in as much as I can. If I've missed stuff, fair dues, but I've done my best. If anybody's getting in the chat or anything, batter it in just now. Stick about for a wee 5 minutes. and see what's what. There's some more bits of chat. Ratio perfect being researched. I was just sicking. Well, a lot of this, mate, is the stuff I've touched on in the past. I've never seen anybody try to put it all together, probably because it takes 2.5 hours to try and explain it all, and a lot of people switch off if they've not got the concentration span. But I mean, it's all there to see if you read the symbols and stuff, and just put all the history in a timeline and when this happened, what was happening there, so on and so forth. It all makes perfect sense, and you can piece it all together. It isn't that hard, man. For me, it's like a storybook when you look at all the times and dates, events, when, where, who, what, how. It's like a big storybook. But Ratio Perfect, you'll be able to go back and watch this all if you want to catch it all, mate, because I'm showing slides, and no, not slides, I'm showing web pages, maps, all the stuff, whatnot. Alrighty, Dean. Knights who had to be of noble birth or were knighted by the Grand Master for chivalry conducted. Knights would wear a bronze ring. Jimmy Page bought his house, didn't he? Yep. Jimmy Page bought Aleister Crowley's house up in Inverness, I believe. He blackmailed his way up by having sex. Who'd that be, Gene? Aleister Crowley or Jimmy Page? Who black? It could be either of them. Knight's flag is a pyramid flattened out. Yep, mate, spot on. Knight of Malta's flag. If you cut it out, I said this last night, if you cut it out, you can build a 3-dimensional pyramid. Knights of Malta, that is Mitty Bush. Yep, spot on. I found out the Queen governs both Israel and Palestine too. What do you mean, Jean? Does she govern it? Does she own the land? Or do you mean she's the monarch? Because I was just looking there, and I might have came across it before, but I found that the Queen is the monarch of Malta, which hadn't stuck in my mind before. So I don't know if that's what you're meaning, Jean. Stick in the chat room what you're. Stick in the chat room more information, Jean. I'd be interested in that, man, about how the Queen has got the links to Israel and Palestine. I mean, it doesn't surprise me in one little bit, man. I just love a wee bit of more icing on it. The first Templars were the bastard sons of the ones that would never take the throne too. Aye, Gene, I've heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot of the Knights Templars gain a lot of their money and influence from aristocracy that were shunned and their nose was always turned up at to the monarchy. And I think it's a very good. It's very simple to think about. If you're staying in a world of kings and queens where the monarch rules, the monarch rules through the bloodline, and yet there's no distorting that without dying, murder, killing, pillaging, killing off the birthline, but marrying and so on and so forth. So down the lines, there must have been so many people that felt they were better suited for the job. They should have been king, I should have been queen, he should have been king. And there must have been a lot of disillusioned people within the monarchy who wouldn't get a sniff of power. I mean, look at a lot of people's own relationships with their brothers, sisters, and stuff. I mean, not the easiest thing to have, is it? So, Gene, I think there's a lot to be said of that. Yep, a lot of weight to that. Order is linked through ancestry descent from the original Knights Templar in England, which were derived from the Knights Templar of Jerusalem. Dean, I know what you mean, mate. I mean, the Knights Templar were formed to protect the king, Solomon's Temple. So the home of the Knights Templar is Solomon's Temple, is the Temple Mount. So yeah, you could call the Temple Church that I was showing today in the city of London, that could be seen as the English Knights Templars, because it was their headquarters in England, definitely. And over time, the headquarters, their branch inside England, has gained power through the city of London, in which they've nicely manoeuvred themselves into owning and owning. There's Cheers, Jean. Also linked to the Knights of the Holy Spectre. Well, Dean, I would argue more or less the same thing, mate. Splitting hairs there. But stick it in the pot, definitely, man. It's kind of like I say the Knights Templar can be the Knights of the the Knights of the Temple of Solomon. There's a lot of different ways of saying it, but they're the same organisation. Am I ever going to go on the Kev Baker show? Never say never, man. Don't know. I try and speak to the guy, and he doesn't speak to me. So don't know, man. Watch this space. Never say never. Hey. Aye. That'd be funny. I don't know. Hold on. I'll do an audition. False flag, green flag, blue flag, green flag. Green flag. Pick up your fucking, what's green flag again? A breakdown company. The Saturn Death Cult. Tiny Tangerine. Oh, is that audition might get me a spot. Aye, Dean, I'll be catching up with you later, mate. Fuck, I better actually shoot the fuck off, man. I've got shit to do before Daisy's show isn't meant to be kicking about until 10 o'clock, I think. So everybody go and check out fractalfrequency.co.uk tonight about 10 bells. Check in before, check in after, see what's happening. And thanks, Peter, for listening, mate. Don't know whether you'll be floating about tonight. I'll say to days and stuff, I don't know. See what's happening. Oh, there's some more. Extremely interesting, thanks, Kip. Cheers, K9 Griffin. Jesus, mate, you've been kicking about for the start, man. It's about 2.5 hours of my bull crap, man. Jean, you were speaking about Crowley. What the hell? Sorry, Jean, I forget what we were saying there. There's Angela checking in. All right, Angela, you're coming in just at the end. Thanks for joining anyway. But you can rewind. We'll be doing something live later on tonight around 10 o'clock UK. That's 5:45 just now. So in about what, 4 hours 15 minutes we'll be doing something. But Angela, long time no speak, man. So thanks for saying hi. And I mean, this hasn't been a Google Hangout in the technical terms of it. It hasn't been an interactive thing just to broadcast. I've actually went through the whole city, the city of London, using web pages and stuff like that, Angela. So if you're up for it and you're interested in the information about the whole history of the city of corruption, London, the Knights Templar, so on and so forth, I would say this would be a good video to watch back. There is a hell of a lot of information in it, man. Jeans owns. She owns and she's the monarch of Israel and Palestine. No way, man. Cheers, Jean. I'll need to check that out, man. That's went underneath my radar. Again, it's no surprise. It doesn't surprise me, but it's always good to keep those things in the old memory bank. Didn't Pope Benedict resolve the Templar? Aye, mate. Yep. In an article found in the Vatican vaults, now they want all the money, gold artifacts stole all over since the Vatican took it. Well, Mitty Bush, yeah, and as far as I'm aware, the Pope did come out and exonerate the Knights Templars for the crimes they were alleged to have done back in 1307. Jesus, need to open my book again. 1307, aye, 1307. But if the Knights Templars don't exist, who do they give the money to? The common theory, mate. You go and listen. You go and ask anybody who's a classical historian, they'll tell you the Knights Templars don't exist. So, I heard that, mate. It was dead interesting about the Pope exonerating the Knights Templars. Well, I need to elaborate on this, mate. Well, I ultimately think the Knights Templars have took the church. The Jesuits we've got a Jesuit Pope, and I believe the Jesuits and the Knights Templars one and the same thing, ultimately, to this day. Cheers, Mitty Bush. Thanks for watching. You've been here for the start as well, mate. Cheers, thanks for that, man. Whose ass are you want to fuck, Angela? But I get you, man, I get you, cheers. Fuck Baker's crazy ass. Nice, Angela. Well, he's a bit loose in the head, my friend. No comment, I possibly could not comment. Oh, what, man. Aye, so Daze is going to be doing his show tonight about 10 PM UK time, I believe. I don't know if we'll be setting up early or we'll be kicking off late or whatever, so always worthwhile checking in, seeing if we're about. There's still a few viewers kicking about, man. Oh, there's Mr. Daisley. Right, I'm going to call this to an end, man. I could sit here and just do this all day. Right, everybody that's listening, thanks a lot, man. Everybody that's commented, even better. I'm looking to be doing more of this. Maybe not to this extent and taking 2.5 hours. I don't know. Leave comments in the box what you thought of it, man. Whether it's a good format, bad format, crap format, or whatever. This is the first time I've done it, just as like a one-man band kind of thing, dipping in and out the chat box. I mean, on a looser note, you could do it. I could do it, get it more interactive. I mean, it doesn't have to be a strict format or something. It was just something new to try. I wanted to get it going, see what this sort of a thing worked out. Whether anybody's going to be able to sit through 2.5 hours of my bullshit, but I personally think it's worth it if you want to understand the history of all the stuff I've talked about. You know, all the links are there. But anyway, thanks to everybody that's listened, commented, whatnot. Share it. Everything. Alrighty, YouTube. Thanks for watching. No say this in ages. Catchies.